We are going to take all these areas sequentially until we take them all. It's just a simple message to Al-Shabaab. You either give him or we are coming for you.
A warning shot at 0100 military time signified the start of the hostility hour before General Olum and 1,500 AMISOM forces, together with Somalia National Army, entered Barawe at 0200 military time, meeting very little resistance. Here, on the shifting sands of the war-torn Somalia, General Dick Olum surveys the aftermath of his final offensive.
It took us only 30 minutes, actually 45 minutes, to reach Barawe. We are now in Barawe. We have taken over Barawe. This specific field, the ground here, is the exact ground where Al-Shabaab used to conduct its execution. The execution of those they think we are going against the Sharia law, and it is this ground. And it is this same ground that we have decided to come and bring this population and tell the people of Barawe that Al-Shabaab is gone, is no more, and we are taking charge. The government of Somalia is taking charge.
Before his tour of duty came to a close, he had also commanded his men to liberate many strategic towns in the Horn of Africa.
The best part of my operation in Somalia has been the time we took over Barawe. That is 250 kilometers from Mogadishu. I think that was a huge achievement for AMISOM, for AMISOM and specifically for the UPDF that really undertook that mission. Of course, Barawe was one of the achievements, was one of the greatest parts that we undertook, and that was over 250 kilometers from Mogadishu. But I still believe it still connects and combines with the rest of the missions that the UPDF has undertaken in Somalia. Great men like General Peter Luelu, General Paul Lokech, General Kavuma, the Brigadier Golobas, and all of them have been in Somalia. Of course, including the commanders who kept visiting us. You wouldn't imagine that the former Commander Land Forces, then General M.K. Muhoozi, who was then the commander of Special Forces, undertook a lot of visits. I remember when General M.K. would come and get me, and I flew with him to Shalamboti, eventually flew with him to Bulamare. General Katumba, for example, who would visit us now and then. General Muhoozi David. I mean, this is something that we UPDF are always proud of. So I wouldn't say all the achievements or anything that could have come during my time in Somalia was specifically about me. It's about the entire UPDF.
But General Dick Olum's military journey did not start in Somalia. Born in 1970, 20th of July in Kampala, Dick Prit Olum hails from a home of 3, including 1 brother and sister. In 1986, a 16-year-old Olum joined the National Resistance Army, drawn by the promise of a new Uganda free from the tyranny of past regimes.
I grew up as a young man with an ambition of wanting to become a Catholic priest. And once I went to the Apostles of Jesus Seminary in Moroto to become a priest. By 1986, I couldn't make it. Once God decided that I would not become a Catholic priest, I thought I would go back to the first call, the service of my father, who was a soldier, also a retired soldier, now who's late. And in 1986, I became one of the first recruits of the UPDF to join the then NRA. And I'm happy to be part of this great military as a former seminarian, meant to be a Catholic priest, and now a military officer, a general commanding one of the most prestigious and excellent formations of the UPDF.
His raw potential shone through the grueling training, propelling him through the ranks and forging him into a leader. In 2002, Olum was later posted in Gulu after studying a senior staff course in India. This was after some rebel groups rejected the peace accord and continued to fight like the Lord's Resistance Army, a group synonymous with dread, displacing and decimating the Acholi populace. But for Olum, it was a mission to defend the innocent.
When I was appointed a brigade commander in 307 Brigade, that was in Soroti in Teso, the LRA situation is exactly the situation of the ADF. These are people who would kill for nothing. There wasn't any political aim, motive. Just like these guys here, the ADF fighting for an Islamic belief, which doesn't bear any sense. LRA had its own other motives. They thought they would march to Kampala. They wouldn't do it. They kept maiming people, killing, destroying properties. But of course today, I'm a very happy person that LRA is no more. I remember having followed LRA up to South Sudan, to Congo in Dungu and Faraje, up to Central Africa, Jema, Obo, as I was based in Yambi. I think LRA has been a success story for the UPDF, and today LRA is nowhere to be seen. I feel so happy when I see some of the components or some of the relations to the LRA families come and meet His Excellency the President, who is a very big parent in all these situations. I feel so happy when I watch on the news that the President is meeting parts of this family. It's a great achievement that I think the UPDF has undertaken, specifically with great guidance from the Commander-in-Chief.
For a soldier, life is unpredictable. Despite a happy moment on the 23rd of November 2023 when Dick got married, that night he was promoted from Major to Lieutenant Colonel.
When we wedded in 2003, the next day, the Army Commander, then General Aronda, told me, Dick, congratulations on your wedding, but I want to see you in Amuria. And I wedded on the 29th, and on the 30th I was posted to 307 Brigade, and on the 1st of December was the birthday to my wife, and that was the day I left for Amuria. So I didn't have honeymoon, I didn't go anywhere, and thank God I have a very supportive wife who has always looked after my back, who has looked after my family, my children, and there she is. I will always balance. She knows when I say duty calls, I move, and she knows when I'm free, I come home. So it's all about the army, the military.
The year is 1995, and shadow looms over Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo after another rebel group known as the Allied Democratic Force was formed by various streams of discontented sectors of Ugandan society which felt alienated after the overthrow of Idi Amin. Their intention, to establish the Sharia law. Their reign, one of terror, fueled by a twisted ideology, characterized by chilling abductions, mass murders and rampant lootings, activities still ongoing until to date. The UPDF has over the years been fighting these terrorists who are on the run and found refuge in the vast DRC forests. As the Mountain Division Commander Operation Shuja, Olum says it's only a matter of time until the ADF is no more.
The eastern part of the DRC is a hugely thicket that in most cases do not have infrastructure. There are facilities that do not meet easy access to mobility, to planning, to storage. So most of the challenges have been, one, infrastructure where our troops can be moved from point A to point B. Two, where our logistics can be hauled from one position to the other. Since 2021, the 31st of November to date, a lot has been done, a lot of achievements. I think this phase is the middle phase now for Operation Shuja. I am not going to say we've reached halfway, I'm not going to say we've done a quarter, and I'm not going to say we have done 3 quarters. All I can say, it's a central phase for this operation, where the operation is becoming more interesting, especially when you look at all the recoveries, when you see at all the saving of the women, the children, the reporting by some of the ADF fighters, the hitting, the achievements in acquiring the weapons that have been got from the ADF. This tells you the biggest part of the central achievement of this operation. We are somewhere and we are heading somewhere.
Olum is also a strong believer in the UPDF's Pan-African ideology of sculpting a safer Africa using African solutions. Reflecting on UPDF's journey from the NRA roots, Olum is confident in its continued ascent, crediting the Commander-in-Chief General Yoweri Museveni's visionary leadership.
And way back in 1986, I looked at President Museveni. I looked at those big names, General Tumwine, General Tinyifunza, the big names like the Fred Rugemas, whom we found as young men, the big names like you see the Paul Kagames, and all these great commanders, the Konderes in the UPDF. Then, in 1986, we were a ragtag army, putting on uniforms which are overalls, pure cotton material overalls with smellish gumboots. And the Commander-in-Chief kept the fire burning by telling us, young men, one time we shall be in a position better than we are today. He kept that promise. We kept that faith. And indeed today, we are one of the best in the region. Courtesy of the Commander-in-Chief, who kept us all that faith, who kept encouraging us that one day we shall be the best. We have lived with very meager salaries, meager salaries. We have lived in very poor accommodation. We have lived with a lot of little logistics. But today the UPDF is one of the best in the region. In air, on ground, and on our waters. We are second to none. We are good. I think courtesy of the Commander-in-Chief with classic vision. When Ugandans don't see the aspect of the UPDF being a force to reckon with, I feel so belittled. But I believe that the UPDF today has evolved into one of the mightiest fighters in the region. Look at where we are. The African nation, the African continent, looks at us as one of the force to reckon with, and we are happy about that.
Olum's story transcends the din of gunfire and the grit of trenches. His leadership extends to nurturing a new generation of soldiers, many of them women, shattering glass ceilings in a traditionally male domain.
Girl child, female bodyguards, female soldiers, I have tried to enhance these girls. When I came to the division, I found so many girls. They were like thought to be sort of women, ladies, girls who wouldn't do anything. To me, I thought that was not proper. I said, if I can save the strength of the UPDF in allowing the male soldiers operate more, let me save that strength of the division by taking on girls. Up till today, I still want to use so many girls. I've tried to teach a few of these girls to drive, and they are trying. Unfortunately, some of them have disappointed me. But I would have loved to see myself being driven by a girl, a female soldier. I've loved to see all my soldiers, all my escorts, the soldiers I move with are girls. And I have tried to do that. I've trained them in various weapon handling, in firing. I've trained them how to drive. They can now hold the machine gun, the PK. They can fire the AGL. They can fire the pistols. And these are the girls I'm trying to move with. Unfortunately, there's a weakness that we realize from these girls. But all these weaknesses, you tend to bring them slowly to ensure you educate them. You talk to them. Tell them the reason as to why you think they should serve in the army. So many people have commented. So many people have come with ideas. Chase all those girls away. Bring male escorts near you. But I've insisted. I've said no. If it is all about appreciation of your security, then it is also about enhancing the capability, the capacity of these girls to fight, to protect me. First of all, when they fight, they don't fight alone. I fight with them. And if anything happens eventually, it is all about them and myself. If it is death, then all of us go. I've removed from them that aspect of thinking they are ladies, they are girls. I want them to look like men. I want them to do those things that men do. Some of them understand. Some of them believe. Some of them still have that small weakness as being wanting to be favored. They'll tell lies to want to be favored. But that I keep off. I still insist that yes, I still want to be protected and given security by female soldiers.
For General Dick Olum, a battle-hardened man, serving his nation to the best of his abilities is a call of duty that he'll always take on without a second thought. Sharon Chomjisha, UBC News.